This is the last part of the course where we are going to make all the pieces work together. And we will work only with scene, since we already finished developing all other parts of the game. So here we first update our imports. Then we declare our arrays of movements keys. So if user presses, for example, A key or left key, it means he wants to move pedal to the left. And if it's press D key or right key on the keyboard, it means he wants to move pedal right. And if it presses space button, he wants to stop the game. We will update the state of the game and re-render 60 times per second. So update every will be in milliseconds. Then we create a num for actions. We will fire action when container size changes, when user press the button, and when user release the button. And this action will be called 60 times per minute. And in handler for tick, we will update the state of the game. So when container size changes, we update the state with new projectors. And new container size will came from page component. So here we simply call get projectors and pass all the parameters. And when the player presses the key, we check if it's left or right move. And we are using includes method to check if it was A key or left key. And if this is the case, movement will be equal to left. And then we check if user pressed right key. And in this case, we return right movement. And user was pressed not left, no right, we will return initial state. On key up, we check if player wants to pause or resume the game and make appropriate operations with time. And first we make movement equal to undefined. Here we check if this was space key. If game was stopped, we make stop time undefined. So we resume the game and we make time so that it will re-render only for time when game wasn't stopped. Otherwise, it means that user stops the game, so we need to save date now in stop time field. Otherwise, we return new state. And the last action is tick. if the game is in pause, we return all state. Otherwise, we calculate how much time left from the last update and call a function from one of the previous parts that will generate new state for the game. So we pass all state, movement, and time spent. How much time spent from the previous update. Then we check if there is no lives left. If this is the game, if this is the case, we return state to the initial state for the current level. If there's no blocks left, it means that user finished this level and we want to move him to the next one. But this also may be the case when he already reached the last level, and in such case we'll simply return him to the last level. Then we set level to local storage. And receive new game state. And we also need to update projectors because size of the game may be changed with a new game. And if there is no changes with number of levels, we return new state. Next, we need to implement real reducer. So it receives current state, action name and payload for action. Then we take handler. If for some reason we passed type that doesn't have handler, we simply return existing state, but this condition won't work for our case because we implemented handlers for all actions. Here we take second parameter, dispatch, and we also write helper function to simplify the dispatch call. Then we are using use effect hook in order to update our projectors every time when container size changes. And it will know that container size changed because we are passing it as second parameter to use effect. Then we implement codes that will work similar to component that mount and component will unmount. Here we write handler on key down, so which will be equal to key number on the keyboard. And then the same way for on key up. And for tick. Then we start our game loop by using set interval, specify our function and how often we want to call this function. Then we receive unregister function by using our register listener helper function. The same way for key up. And finally, we return a function that will be executed on component will unmount. So we here clear interval and unregister all our listeners. In order to execute this hook only once on component mount, we specify an empty array here. Now we can run our game and see what we have. We finished with the game and have a good result, but I encourage you to take the further steps and pick some part of the game you want to improve or change. You can make UI different, you can make physics more realistic, you can add new features. For example, when ball hits some brick, speed of the ball changes, or when you hit some bricks, size of the puddle changes. There's so many possibilities and new features that you can add, so use your imagination. And when you're done with the improvements, you can leave a comment to the course. And also we can make a list of different implementations of the game in the main repository. So if you want to show to other people what you have done, you can message me or leave a pull request to the main repository. To easily deploy game on the GitHub pages so you can share with other people, we need to install library. After installing GitHub pages, we can open package.json, and here you specify where game will be deployed. And this thing should follow some rules. Here we specify the name of your account. So if you open GitHub pages, just look the name in the URL, and then we add github.io and the name of the repository. In my case, this is Breakout game, and my account is Radeon Tutor. Then we add a pre-deploy script. It will be executed right before deployment. So here we build our project, and as a result we'll have a folder with index HTML and JS file and CSS, and then we push all the stuff to GitHub pages branch and it will be deployed. So we run npm run deploy, then we can copy the link and paste it in the browser, and we can play the game. So that's it. Hope you found this course helpful, and if you have any question, don't hesitate, ask them. Take care.